Hello, my name is Justin Decloux, and I'm here today with
Will Sloan.
And you're listening to the Important Cinema Club. Oh, Will just put a little bit of vinegar when he said Will Sloan. He like cocked his head when he did it. Is that a little bit of that Bruce Campbell magic taking you this episode?
Well, the reason I did that is because, as I just told you off mic, I don't have any notes for this episode, and I didn't even mean to not write any notes. Almost every week I have notes, but not this week. Because
almost every one of the movies that I watched this week I had seen before. So it was like revisiting old friends where I'm like, I've seen this a dozen times.
I actually saw 2 movies this week for the very first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know I didn't say it at the beginning, but we're talking about Bruce Campbell this week.
And why?
I love Bruce Campbell, and it's a subject I've never brought up because I'm like, what do I have to say about a guy that I love so much?
Well, hopefully a lot. I mean, we all saw on social media he posted this message about his cancer diagnosis. He said that it was treatable but not curable. And I think everybody had a collective. We're all rallying to support Bruce Campbell because I think everybody realized how much they love Bruce Campbell.
I didn't need to realize that I love Bruce Campbell to see that message.
You're absolutely right. Why I can't put into words how I feel. It's like we love Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell is one of those guys that's just been like part of the tapestry of my life for so long, and the like entertainment that I consume that maybe I take him for granted a little bit too much.
I think I did too. I think that's what I was getting at when I said realized, because when I was in middle school, I saw all 3 Evil Dead movies, and they were foundational films, you know? And I think at a certain point, I wouldn't say I disconnected from Bruce Campbell, but I haven't thought about him that much, like, in the last 10 years.
Well, unless you're watching, television and checking in onto a Burn Notice marathon, and you're probably not seeing Bruce Campbell very much.
Well, whenever Burn Notice had cause to pass my attention, I always thought to myself, good for him. Good for him that he has a show.
You know, it's weird to look at Bruce Campbell's career and be like, I wish he did more, because by any other person's metric, he did a lot. Like, he starred in multiple TV shows, 2 of them that didn't last past like 1.5 series, but he was a supporting character on Burn Notice forever. And he was on Xena. He was on Hercules as well.
Well, it's interesting. One of the other things that is, I think, foundational to him is his memoir, published in either the late 90s or the early 2000s.
Thank you, John Hodgman, for actually making that happen. He had a website, and John Hodgman, who was working in publishing at the time, was like, oh, wow, like people love Bruce Campbell, and I should get him to write an autobiography. And he had to sell it really hard to his employees, because they're like, who cares about this B-movie actor?
That's interesting to hear because, well, the book is called, of course, If Chins Could Kill, Confessions of a B-Movie Actor. And you can feel the salesmanship on the cover of the book.
It's like, why should you care about this person? Let me give you all the reasons.
Right. You remember the back cover of the book where he's like, listen, you could read a book by all these people. What about a book about a working actor, you know? And I feel like now it'd be much like, I don't know, maybe it'd be exactly the same. I don't know. But I just feel like, well, okay, like a few years after that, in the mid-2000s, I went to a Bruce Campbell book signing at Chapters Indigo at Bangalore.
Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way?
Yes.
Bad book.
Bad book.
Yes.
But I stood in line for like 4 hours.
Wow.
I got my book signed. I was 16 years old. And I got up to Bruce Campbell. I handed him my book. And it was as if everything in front of me went white. And then before I knew it, I was gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was so surreal.
I didn't know what to do. It was Bruce Campbell. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And then
if you were, from his perspective, nothing is perfect. That's what he would like.
Yes. And I think at the time I thought, why didn't I say something? And
what would you have said? I'm a big fan of your work.
Yeah. Well, it was such a long line. Okay. I've never seen the Chapters Indigo at Bangalore that packed. I think that's interesting because, to Hollywood, he's exactly what John Hodgman's publishing company.
Yeah. Who is this? Who would buy a book about him?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody they have to sell really hard, but he's so famous, so popular in like cult film fan circles that he's basically a crossover figure.
He came to Fan Expo one year and he did a Q&A, which was one of the greatest Q&As I've ever seen because he'd be like, okay, let's take that question. The person would be like, and he's like, yes. All right, next question. Or someone would be like, can you sign my thing? And then he mimed in the air like, Bruce Campbell, done. All right, next question. The fastest, like, I've done this a million times. I'm also very funny. Let's just keep this moving, please.
Yeah. He does have a very funny thing that he does in personal appearances where he's like completely rude and insulting to people, but in a funny way.
Yes.
And everyone likes it. And he makes no bones about the fact that it's like, It's like, this is an assembly line.
Yeah, and he's like, I know who I am. I know who you are. Let's keep this thing moving, please.
And everyone loves it because he's funny.
Isn't that like his entire character? And I think we need to, analyze a little bit of what is the perfect Bruce Campbell character. And we didn't watch Evil Dead movies for this.
I did. I watched Evil Dead 2.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. Because I hadn't seen it in like 15 years probably.
Oh, when was the last time I watched Evil Dead 2?
I wore it out in high school.
Yeah, I know it by heart. Like if you gave me like a shot list, I'd be like, yeah.
But no, and I didn't even tell you because I didn't want to make you feel pressured to watch it or anything.
I wasn't gonna watch it. I know it by heart. So.
But it was just, it was Saturday. I was home, nothing happening in my social life. So I thought, well, what should I do when nothing's happening in my social life? I should watch Evil Dead 2.
Was Dancy around that you're like, Dancy, have you seen this movie?
I think she'd gone to bed.
Okay.
Dancy knows who Bruce Campbell is.
Has she seen Evil Dead 2?
Probably. I don't know.
Because I'm curious of people that are not like movie people if they know who Bruce Campbell is.
I think so. I was watching a Bruce Campbell movie and I just said, "Oh, we're doing a Bruce Campbell episode," and she was like, "Oh yeah," like she knew who he was.
Who?
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was a kid watching Evil Dead 2 for probably the thousandth time, that my sister walked into the room and went, "Ugh, who's that bad actor?"
I mean, when we were growing up, it felt like. I mean, everybody at that packed Chapters Indigo in 2005 felt like it was their little secret,
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because I remember just being in line with these people and like some people had their portable DVD players and they were playing Army of Darkness. And like, it felt like it had subculture vibes.
Well, I would look at at that point, did you say it was the 90s?
2005.
There's 100 releases of Evil Dead
I know.
by Anchor Bay.
I know, but doesn't it at that time it still feels like our little secret? And does it anymore?
No, absolutely not.
But you remember when you'd go see the Spider-Man movies and Bruce Campbell would be in them.
But everyone would pop though. Everyone would be excited. It still happens now.
But didn't you feel people were kind of excited because they felt like they were in on an inside joke?
Yeah, probably.
I remember seeing Spider-Man 3 in like Montreal, an opening weekend. Packed audience, like 1,000 people there, and when he shows up, I felt a palpable murmur of approval.
So, but is that an inside joke if everyone is excited to see him?
It's the world's biggest inside joke,
And why do you think that is? Is it because people perceive this actor not to have huge success, so to see him in these movies feels special?
I think so. He still feels like, well, he doesn't feel like one of us, but what he does feel like is somebody who has...
Like looking in a little bit.
He has a line to us,
yes.
His fame feels like it's a grassroots phenomenon because like he had a couple of movies that failed, a couple of TV shows that failed. He didn't become an A-list actor. He was supposed to be, and he didn't. And we're the ones who sustained this.
But he goes to a convention. He is the most popular person there.
That's right.
I think no contest to this day.
I mean, now that Stan Lee's dead.
Yeah.
Shatner.
How do I spell my name?
Is Shatner more popular?
That's a good question. Shatner and Bruce Campbell are sitting side to side. Who has a longer line? The thing about Shatner is, oh, wait, he's still alive? Kind of thing.
But they're
Adam
both
West.
Passed. I don't think.
No, I know, but they're back. He's back.
I think Adam West comes third out of those three.
Okay.
Just in terms of.
Because he has that one thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, no disrespect to Adam West, obviously. But anyway, let's get back to. I'm so lost in reminiscing about formative Bruce Campbell memories.
So Bruce Campbell, his life story, not that dramatic. He and his friends started making short films together. Sam Raimi, Scott Spiegel, Josh Becker.
And he's from Detroit. He's in that crowd.
And so
they make a movie called The Evil Dead.
Yeah, a little movie you might have heard of.
Funded independently. A bunch of dentists put up their money, Did pretty well.
Yep, pretty well. Took a while. Took a couple of years to take off. Stephen King saw it, gave it a blurb, made a big difference. Starts to take off. They make Crime Wave, and here is the classic, Bruce Campbell story. Sam Raimi's second film, Crime Wave. Got money. They're shooting in studio. The main guy was supposed to be Bruce Campbell. And they did a screen test, and they went, no, we need a real star like this fucking guy that nobody knows who he is.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That movie would have a much better reputation now if Bruce Campbell had starred in it.
100%. And so I feel like right then and there, and Bruce Campbell was very involved in the making of Crime Wave as well. He's always on the creative side when it like Sam Raimi things.
So I guess we're like 10 minutes into this, so it's too late for top line observations. But nevertheless, I'm going to give one. It's like one of the things that's, I think, baked into his cult stardom is the fact that he should have been a star. Like he's got the face of a leading man.
But in the 40s.
Yes.
He's got the faith of a leading man.
And so he felt out of place in the 80s and 90s. He's got this huge square jaw, like he's absurdly handsome, but in like they put a handsome man in the handsome man machine too many times.
Yeah, it's a copy of a copy of a copy.
And like oddly, I actually think if he were coming up now, he would also pop.
It was like Glenn Powell.
Yeah, like Glenn Powell, or like, don't you think John Hamm has a little bit of Bruce Campbell about him?
Yep.
Or even The Rock. You know, like I think he would have popped later in our more postmodern times.
Now, the thing about Bruce Campbell, though, is the way that he gets started in those Evil Dead films and throughout most of his career, he rarely plays the top line leading guy hero. Usually he plays a smug guy or a wimpy loser like he does in the first Evil Dead film. And the humor of it is him reacting to the tortures imposed upon him, and that's what's funny.
Absolutely.
And that there is a glee in seeing it. And I talk about like some Sam Raimi films I don't like, is that Sam Raimi loves to torture his actors, and the actors need to be on board with that torture. That there is a like meta layer of, it's funny to see Bruce Campbell grab a plate and smash it on his head and like flip himself up into the air as well.
Yeah, I mean, so having not seen Evil Dead 2 in like 15 years, yes, I remembered every scene, but I also, what I forgot was the way it accumulates, where it's like,
so good.
The first half of the movie is
Bruce Campbell by himself.
It's a one-man show.
Yeah.
It's just him like abusing himself over and over and
so
over
funny.
and over again. Yeah. Incredible.
You with his hand.
And you're right, there's something about the like kidding, not kidding quality of it. You know, he's fully invested in this persona.
And maybe that's why someone like my sister is like, I don't believe him as an actor because it's so big that like that's creating a distance with me as an audience member.
Now, in fairness to your sister, what do you think of his performance in Maniac Cop?
It's boring.
I agree.
Yes.
And I also think he's a little wooden in it. You know, I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe if I watched it tomorrow, I'd think he was the next Olivier. But I don't think he's that good in that movie.
But I think it's also he's not given much to do. That as a straight leading man, when put in straight leading man roles, he can sometimes be boring. I did watch a film this week that I thought he's pretty good in. We'll get to that a little bit later. Let's take it chronologically. So I looked at the list of Bruce Campbell films and I was like, I've seen all of these, and most of them are just not that good.
I know.
And that's a big issue.
I mean, the ones that aren't like Fargo, where he plays
one tiny role on a television as they pass through the room. I mean, he's very good in the Hudsucker Proxy.
I love him in that movie, yeah.
Where he's, again, like seventh lead, like supporting character in it.
I know.
And it's like, he could never get those comedy roles that played to his strength of like a fast-talking smug guy.
Okay, so there was a clip going around on Twitter this last week after the cancer announcement of him doing a guest shot on Adventures of Lois and Clark, you know, the Dean Cain Superman show. He played a villain in one episode, and I'd never seen this. But when he comes, he's chomping a cigar. He's doing the full like smug thing, and he's a star.
He is
awesome.
But there's no place for people like in the cinematic landscape of the 80s or the 90s who do that thing. He can only do it in that show because it's like a throwback. Like, see what's going on.
And you know, I'm gonna say, well, I don't know if I fully believe this, but I'm going to test this out. Like, I think he's better going big than being naturalistic.
I absolutely agree with you. And I think it's just because as a just physical presence, if you just see him, he is big already. And that when he tries to kind of tone it down, I think he's sometimes like, he tones it too far down to combat his natural instinct. His natural instinct is to walk into a room when he was like in his prime and like do a flip with his hand. And that's what he should be playing to. But like Sam Raimi, you get the sense of people going, you're too big for the things we want to do, so we're going to pass on you. Like he was supposed to be, he got right down to the wire to be in The Phantom, to play the titular character.
That was his, at least according to his autobiography, that was his biggest shot.
Yeah.
Because after the Evil Dead movies, Army of Darkness is a big studio movie.
But also a big bomb.
That's right. So after that, he's in McHale's Navy.
My finger hovered over, was like, am I going to watch McHale's Navy?
Well, what I remember from his autobiography is awesome because it's chapter after chapter of failure, basically.
I love I got to go hang out for a couple weeks on Sundown, Vampires in Retreat. Didn't do anything, didn't interact with the rest of the cast.
There's a whole chapter on McHale's Navy where he's like, oh, I got this script for a big studio comedy. I'm like, why don't I have any lines in this? And then I realized every scene is Mikhail and his men, do
I'm
this.
just in the background.
Mikhail and his men do that. He describes having this long dialogue scene on stage where in the final movie he's out of focus behind Tom Arnold's shoulder.
Again, people don't know. Mikhail's Navy, a Tom Arnold vehicle.
An adaptation of the old TV show.
That we all love, Mikhail's Navy.
Can you believe that Tom Arnold got more big studio shots than
Bruce Campbell?
But then also, The Phantom, the big superhero movie. I can't believe I just called it
the big superhero
movie.
Smash Evil. It's in 3D on the cover.
I saw it in a theater.
You did?
Yeah.
So I remember,
buddy, I got a free Phantom ring.
Do you still have it?
No, because I wore it for a year. Is this new lore?
This is new lore. You wore it for a year. Okay. Now, did you like the movie when it came out?
I loved it.
Oh man, that's what we're doing next week on the Patreon. Is the Phantom?
We're gonna do the Phantom. I haven't seen it in 30 years.
We gotta watch it together. Wait, so you?
Okay.
How old are you? And you're wearing a Phantom?
I was in grade 1.
Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty young.
So I went with my mom to the Skyway 6 theater in Etobicoke. Long departed. We were the only 2 people there, and I got a free Phantom ring when I got in. It's a good movie when they're giving you free shit.
Yeah, like Dick Tracy.
Yeah. And I wore it for a year until the plastic ring fell off, basically.
Now, what I remember from last time I watched that movie with my friends was that Billy Zane, who I usually love, is giving the most comatose leading man performance. He's like, hey, everybody, it's me, the Phantom. What's going on? And Treat Williams is trying to do 10 performances to make up for Billy Zane being so boring.
Yes, I remember that. He's giving a kind of Michael Keaton in Batman.
Yeah. But the charisma dialed down to nothing. And can you imagine Bruce Campbell in that role? That would have been delightful.
He might have done the same thing, though.
You think so? That he would have turned it down because that's what the director would have wanted?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, interesting.
But he did that. He did Briscoe County, the TV show.
Very fun show.
And he had
one season canceled.
Was there another one season show in there?
Jack of Trades.
Oh, Jack of all trades.
Yes, and that one played for some reason. That was like a Sunday show where it's like, nothing's on TV. I guess because it was part of that Xena Hercules slot. Because I think it was the same production company. And that is Bruce Campbell in the role he was born to play, like a swashbuckling, doing swordplay and stuff like that. Very cheap, very fun. 21-minute episodes.
And I remember his autobiography. I remember starting to lose interest in it a bit because the last back part of the book is Xena Legend of Hercules stuff.
Yeah, and he talks about directing and stuff like that.
Which I
did you never watch those shows when they played? They were in syndication a lot.
I mean, they were on all the time, but no, I didn't watch them.
I need to see Ryan Gosling and Young Hercules. That one played at 7 a.m. because it was in syndication on YT. So I watched a lot of that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Kevin Sorbo's current work. His new movies, I think, are great.
Man, they bring it up every now and then, and you can see Bruce is like, ugh. He's rolling his eyes like, I don't want to talk about it. Has Kevin Sorbo had did he have a Gary Busey style motorcycle accident that flipped that switch?
No, I think he's just that guy.
He's just that guy, yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
Disappointed. We all love Hercules here. In the era of Tarantino exploitation, you would think that someone would pick up Bruce Campbell and be like, let's put him in this role.
Well, what about a little movie called Running Time?
Well, Running Time is directed by Josh Becker, who's part of the gang that used to make the old Super 8 movies. Mm-hmm. He was the young guy that if you ever pick up, there's a making of the Evil Dead book. I think that's where it is. His diaries are in it, and it's so funny because Josh Becker is these guys don't know what they're doing. They suck. I could do this so much faster. It looks like shit.
Well, he got his shot in 1997.
Well, he was friends. He made Thou Shalt Not Kill, where Sam Raimi plays the Charles Manson leader in it, and in the original short version, Bruce Campbell did the main guy, but then he couldn't when they did the feature film version.
A memory just unlocked from when I saw Bruce Campbell at Chapters Indigo that time. It was a question along the lines of, has writing books helped your career? And Bruce Campbell said, yeah, I get to make great movies like Alien Apocalypse for the Sci-Fi Channel, which is also directed by Josh Becker. But Running Time is, I guess, a labor of love. It certainly looks like that.
Yep.
It's 69 minutes long, and the gimmick of it is that it looks like it's done all in one long take, but it's like Hitchcock's Rope.
There's hidden cuts in it. Yeah. And it is a Tarantino exploitation, as in it's a crime thing, and it's about robbing a bank that Bruce Campbell starts. He's getting out of jail, and within that 69 minutes in real time, he ends up robbing a bank
with his old high school friends
and having to kind of go on the run. I remember looking at Walmart, picking this up. It was a big Anchor Bay box VHS, and going like, what the hell is this? Like a movie I've never heard of before. I vividly remember it was like a black background, like the three guys cut out of it. You never saw this before?
No, never saw it.
And being like, what is this? I remember seeing it on DVD and being like, disappointed. Not what I wanted. No, thank you.
So yeah, 69 minutes long. It's got strong Reservoir Dogs aspirations, I'd say.
You know what? I say I didn't like it. I liked it watching it this time. I thought it did exactly what it needed to do, and I was ready for that anticlimax that it has.
Boy, I wish I liked it more, because this movie, like, it is technically proficient.
Yes.
I think it pulls off the real-time gimmick fairly well. I just think it's kind of a bad script, I just think all of the dramatics, the stuff where it's like there's a sex worker, and it turns out she was his high school sweetheart, and then he gets back with her. The fact that the mobsters are always arguing about like their childhood days together.
I love that. That's what people hold on to, Will.
I didn't buy it, I gotta say. I thought a lot of the dialogue was pretty corny, and I feel like the dramatics, it's like a bad Fringe play.
You got to do like me and let 20 years pass and revisit it and be like, hey, this isn't so bad.
Okay, but the thing is, it's not so bad.
Yeah,
like
I think it's fine.
If you're sticking your hand in the big pile of direct-to-video Bruce Campbell movies,
if we're talking about Bruce Campbell. How does he do in this movie? And I think pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yes,
pretty good.
And he's not playing it too straight the entire time. There's a smugness to him that I think needs to be there for him to like click into a character.
I agree, and if anything, I wish I could like dial the knobs just a little bit, because like I don't really buy him as a tough guy, I don't buy him as a jailbird, but I do buy him as like a smug guy, and I feel like he's good as the smug guy.
Now that's an interesting observation, is you don't buy Bruce Campbell as like a tough hero guy, because
I don't buy him as a mobster.
Okay,
and I'm not sure what to attribute that to, because he does look strong.
Yeah. He has a kind of strong face.
But he's also kind of pretty, you know what I mean?
There's a grit there missing.
I think there's a grit missing, yeah. He seems like a suburban guy.
Which is why, the Evil Dead films are so successful, because it's putting this, like, suburban guy through the ringer.
Absolutely.
And, like, Army of Darkness to the extreme. And, like, Sam Raimi's talked about Army of Darkness, where he's like, I hate this character. Like, it's funny to torture him and for him to be a coward and always to be running away. And that's what they don't like about the theatrical version of Army of Darkness, is they cut a lot of that cowardice out. Like, the climax of the director's cut of Army of Darkness starts with Ash running away and letting everybody die, because they think that's funny. The idea that Bruce Campbell looks so heroic, and then at the end of the day, he's just a smug asshole or just someone who's a scaredy cat. That's what Sam Raimi loves, and that's what they were able to click into so strongly. Now, would have Bruce Campbell been a successful actor if he had not met Sam Raimi? Probably not.
Probably not, but who would?
But at the same time, is Evil Dead, it kind of stamped him and made it difficult for him to have any kind of career beyond novelty for a lot of people.
Well, I think so, but then also he got a couple of these shots in the 90s, and I think it just kind of wasn't his time. He was
past his time as well.
He was just born in the wrong time. I guess it was some of the wrong projects. I mean, it's funny, Army of Darkness, which I watch it, and it's a perfect movie.
Yes.
Audiences and critics rejected it at the time, and I don't know.
So wild.
You read the reviews at the time, and they're like, "This is
for
nothing."
Children. This is
the Roger Ebert review, for example. He's like, "Well,
Roger Ebert wrong again.
Maybe if you're 14 years old, you'd find this funny." And it's like, come on.
So much invention.
So much invention.
Yeah.
Like there's something cool and funny happening. All the stop motion, all the gags.
But it's kind of like John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China was also a failure when it came out.
Yeah.
Is it like people look at it and they're like, oh, this comedy mixing with this. And the actors, like Bruce Campbell is not above the material in Army of Darkness. Is it because we're going out of the 80s, out of the like smug Chevy Chase, like Eddie Murphy, I'm better than this material kind of thing?
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I think a lot of it also just has to do with how a movie's marketed, frankly. Who the perceived audience is.
And Bruce Campbell was probably a little too old in the 90s to become a funny man like a Jim Carrey.
Well, he's not Jim Carrey.
No, he's not Jim Carrey.
And it's funny because he is he's a very talented, like, physical actor, but not in the same way that Jim Carrey is. Like, he's not a rubber face. Well, actually, he is.
He is a rubber face.
He is a rubber face guy. So what's the difference?
But why?
What's the difference?
Can you, like, could he have done, like, let's just say Bruce Campbell is Ace Ventura.
Well, it would have been different.
I can see him in Liar Liar.
Yes, I could see him in Liar Liar.
Yes.
What about The Mask?
Oh, he would have rocked in The Mask, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
how big can he go? Oh, I'm
well,
trying to
okay.
picture.
The difference between him and Jim Carrey is like Jim Carrey is a funny guy who can also be handsome. Bruce Campbell is a handsome guy who surprises you that he's funny.
Yes.
And like there's an important tension there, you know? It's a slight the balance is different.
But he can also do like we talked about the like nerd stuff, like oh boy, oh geez, which he did not do that much in his life, but he did it a lot early on, like in those Super 8 shorts. He's always the nerd in glasses, being like, oh boy, what are we doing, guys? They just wanted to make Three Stooges things,
yeah.
And like other than the Evil Dead films, like Bruce Campbell never got that opportunity. Why didn't he star in the Nut House or something like that? Do you think that he was past them?
The Nut House, what a picture.
The lost, Raimi and Friends joint, starring again some nobody.
So the 2000s are an interesting period in Bruce Campbell's career. Because
now I'm locked in the 2000s because I'm the right age.
So am I.
I've seen the Evil Dead, and the 90s is a lost time for Bruce Campbell.
And I also feel like the 2000s are kind of like a real peak of his cult fandom, right?
Yeah.
You know,
thanks to the internet.
Yes.
That suddenly people are communicating. They're like, oh, you like Bruce Campbell? I like Bruce Campbell a lot too.
And this is the peak of Army of Darkness getting re-released on DVD over and over again. Yeah. And it's at this point, I feel like the dream of Hollywood stardom, if he had it, is over.
I think so too.
And so he's fully embracing being a cult film guy at this point. He's making a lot of movies for the Sci-Fi Channel that are coasting on his Evil Dead stardom.
Well, so the Sci-Fi Channel movies are interesting because there are a lot of opportunities of stuff that he's wanted to do forever. For example, let's just talk about it. The Man with the Screaming Brain.
From 2005.
Which, in his biography, he talks a lot about, like, this is my passion project. This is the thing that I've always wanted to do.
This was his passion project.
You don't remember this?
No.
Oh, yeah. Huge passion project that, like, they tried to sell it to so many people and, like, they wouldn't pick it up, but they never gave, like, 2-decade-long passion project. And I remember, I'm like, oh, boy, he finally gets to make this movie I'm talking about forever. And then I get a 240p rip off the Sci-Fi Channel. I remember I'm sitting in a basement, living in Toronto. I watch it, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Okay, so as much as I liked Bruce Campbell in the 2000s, I didn't watch this movie.
No, okay.
Even though
you're not a super fan like me.
No, clearly not. Even though this movie was everywhere, and I'll tell you why, because I knew shit when I smelled it.
Now, did you watch?
But this week I watched it.
Yeah.
And I'm coming in hot with one of the worst takes I've ever had.
Holy shit. You kind of like it?
I kind of like this movie.
This movie is so boring.
Oh, come on.
So, good premise. It's basically, what is a Carl Reiner film called with Lily Tomlin and Steve Martin? All of You?
The Man with Two Brains.
But there's also, like, All of You, isn't there? Where he gets
All
possessed,
of Me.
All
That's
of Me,
right.
Possessed by a ghost.
Yeah.
And, like, the idea of Bruce Campbell being possessed by, like, basically he gets a brain of a Bulgarian taxi driver. Oh, that sounds kind of funny. Like he can't control his body.
Yeah, the Bulgarian taxi driver, his parts of his brain are grafted onto his own brain in this sinister operation.
So that seems like a funny idea. Number one, it takes 40 minutes to get there.
So when I put this movie on, and this is the benefit of low expectations.
Did you fall asleep and like wake up with like a loud noise? Suddenly you like roused you?
The first 30 minutes, there's not a lot going on. Although I did, and I'm not saying it's better than Running Time, which I just trashed a minute ago. But what I am saying is I enjoyed Bruce Campbell's presence in this movie.
I don't think he's scummy enough. I think you really need to hate him to get the tension of like, and once he gets the other brain doesn't have much of a perspective or personality.
Okay.
And there's not much like fighting going on either between what they're doing.
I don't disagree with you. The plot is that he plays this like ugly
Trump-like figure.
Yeah, a Trump-like CEO. And he comes to Bulgaria.
The other wild thing is, this was his passion project for 20 years. He was forced to shoot this in Bulgaria, and they did a rewrite of it. What was it before? Because it's all jokes about being in Bulgaria. That's all there is.
I know. It was supposed to be in East LA.
Yeah.
And they were like, would you shoot it in Bulgaria? And he's like, well, can I at least rewrite
like, what
it?
was the tension? What brain got put into his? Like, I want to know.
But yeah, the plot, I mean, we said what the plot is. I think the midsection of this movie where, you know, he's at the restaurant and he's like beating himself up because his brain's telling shit. I think that's pretty funny.
The thing is the idea of it, the execution very poor.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there being like, all right, show me something fun. And there's just like sloppy, like Bruce Campbell as a director, You know, I'm gonna roast him on the coals.
Okay.
Not much precision in the things that he does. He's
Yeah.
also a little bit older, so it's like,
so this I kind of like. I like that it's a slightly older Bruce Campbell who's beating himself up.
and how about like 1/3 of the movie is following a sex robot android?
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. Okay, maybe it's not that great, but I'd give it maybe a soft 3. But but there's, I don't know, there's funny stuff in here.
I find it so. You know what?
And Bruce is good.
I went in being like, all right, my expectations are in check. I can understand why I came to it when it originally aired, but now I'm going to give it the time that it deserves. Okay. And I was like, oh, so bad.
Well, I guess I just like movies a little more than you do.
I remember when My Name is Bruce came out, a movie tailor-made for someone like me, and me be like, this sucks. And people on Facebook, because that's where I used to post movie reviews, would be like, you're not a real Bruce fan. You're a faker. That movie stinks.
Sorry, who likes My Name is Bruce? Rather than linger on the sad parts of his career.
Yeah, I don't want. Now, do I own The Man with the Screaming Brain on DVD? Of course I do. I wouldn't call myself
commentary track?
Oh yeah, there's tons of special features on that.
I gotta get that.
I mean, go to any Salvation Army, and multiple copies will look at you.
I was at the Vinegar Syndrome store 2 days ago, and you know how they've got a huge stack of used DVDs there. I was looking for The Man with the Screaming Brain.
I'm shocked that they didn't have it.
Well, they might have, but it's like a needle in a haystack.
Because I got Alien Apocalypse, I got Man with the Screaming Brain, I got My Name is Bruce sitting on my shelf.
Because Bruce Campbell's DVD commentaries,
so funny,
also legendary.
Yeah.
The 2000s have one inarguable career highlight for Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
And that's a movie called BUBBA HO-TEP.
So I hadn't seen BUBBA HO-TEP in maybe 15 years.
I bet you were on Ain't It Cool News reading
100%.
Reading a million festival
And I'll
reviews.
tell you why I haven't seen it in 15 years. I must have watched it 100 times. I watched it so many times. I showed it to everyone. What was I thinking? Like that, I'm like, you got to see this movie.
Did your friends like it?
Yeah, they probably tolerated it.
Okay, that's because I also watched it 100 times in high school, and like I remember when it was playing at the Paradise Theater. Like I was in grade 9, maybe. I had followed this so much on the internet. I was so excited. I dragged my dad and my boyhood friend to see this movie at the Paradise. We all loved it.
But here's the thing about this movie. You may, all that, stuff I said before, this movie rules. I love this movie.
Yes.
Inarguably, Bruce Campbell's best performance.
Wow. Better than
Evil
Army
Dead?
of Darkness?
I think that dramatically,
yes,
what he's doing, it could have been so easily a joke. And it's not.
And
like at the end of the movie, I'm like, I feel for him and what he's gone through.
Well, it's interesting. As I was watching these other movies, like The Man with the Screaming Forehead or Brain.
Who's the real movie fan?
Sorry, I was mixing up with the Larry Blemire film. No, I was watching it. I was thinking, he's great, but like, did he have a Bad Lieutenant in him? Did he have a Last Tango in Paris? That kind of like performance, that kind of reached in your soul kind of performance. And I don't know the answer, but he did have this.
Yes.
Like an understated performance that worked.
Now, if people haven't seen BUBBA HO-TEP because you weren't around and a teenager in the 2000s where it dominated basically any kind of cult movie fandom, Bruce Campbell plays Elvis, the real Elvis, who is stuck in an old nursing home, basically a mummy that's dressed like a cowboy, starts going around and stealing people's souls out of their assholes. And
but he's got an ally.
Yes.
Nobody believes that he's Elvis. Nobody believes that there's a mummy at this nursing home.
JFK.
Played by Ozzie Davis.
So here's Don Coscarelli, who made this film, the director of the Phantasm films. He is such a good director that this could have gone wrong in so many ways.
Well, this is one of those things, like when I was in grade 9 reading about this online, I was like, awesome.
This is going to be so crazy.
Bruce Campbell's Elvis fighting a mummy. Like tonally, it's actually kind of a miracle what this movie pulls off because on the one hand, it could just be like a really like hacky genre exercise.
Yeah, it could be like, I imagine
it could be Sharktopus or something.
Yeah. Like, whoa.
Or it could be like, oh no, we're taking the premise seriously and it's not fun at all. It's just dreary.
Yeah. And
but it strikes the exact right note.
He could have done it with too much energy, which would then undercut like the silliness that we're seeing. I mean, there's a lot of like stuff going through, like Don Coscarelli's direction, his adaptation, the original Joe R. Lansdale story, which is like kind of like a little novella that he takes most of the lines from, like direct. And Joe R. Lansdale is kind of like Stephen King, is that like if you adapt it too cleanly, it can feel goofy. Like a lot of Stephen King films will take like weird lines and it's like, that doesn't sound right. But because Bruce Campbell's saying it, he's just selling it so hard. And I would say something fascinating about BUBBA HO-TEP is you can forget that it's Bruce Campbell playing this role.
I know, incredible.
Is that like his performance is so like on the correct wavelengths, doing an Elvis, the makeup, that like there's no Bruce Campbellisms other than the skills that he's kind of like built up throughout.
Well, I think he really does, create a character, and like he has certain basic Elvisisms.
Yeah.
But it's not slavishly imitative either. Like he creates a coherent character.
And that the film's tone is basically at the level of the characters, where it's like not moving very fast. Like it's not in your face that much.
It's funny.
It is funny.
Because this situation is funny. These guys are funny.
But it's also sad.
Yes.
Because it's about like older people. And like this is what everyone who gets old will go through at the end of their life.
Well, on this viewing, there was a part where the people at the nursing home are laughing at Elvis and he tells them to fuck off. And then he's like, oh, this is what happens to you when you get old. People don't even get offended when you swear at them anymore. They just think you're either amusing or they ignore you. Mm-hmm. And I thought, God, that's
that
true.
Is true.
That's
yeah.
real. Yeah.
But you can't do those things anymore. And I mean, the fact that they got Ozzie Davis.
The chemistry between them is amazing.
So good. Ozzie Davis is not like playing it up or playing it as a joke at all.
But he's so funny.
He's so funny. Every line that comes out of his mouth is so funny.
But he just plays it like a normal performance.
And all of that together, I feel.
And, the sense of atmosphere at the nursing home, like, as you say, Coscarelli does an incredible job.
What's wild is, like, Bruce Campbell, like, was not that old when he made this. So this could have easily felt like a joke of, like, Gary Oldman playing Winston Churchill or Anthony Hopkins playing Hitchcock. But it never gets there.
Well, yeah, it's like, the makeup is wisely understated. The movie never overplays its hand at any point.
I also love the score in this film. It's epic, and it gives things an epic feel without it feeling like a joke.
Well, like think of that scene where the two of them are walking through the hallway.
They're
doing the
Brian Tyler.
They're doing the Armageddon pose.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that sums it up. Like they do have a certain dignity to them, but they're also ridiculous.
Which is so like wild that like the film has to strike that balance. And you would think a role like this would launch Bruce into like more serious roles. And it never really happened.
It was an independent film.
He independently distributed it theatrically. Don Coscarelli did.
Yeah, it got an MGM DVD release. So, it had its fans.
Yep. I mean, everyone that I showed it to.
I know.
I remember, like, it was one of those movies that I'd be excited of, like, oh, this part's coming up. He's going to fight the bug. Here we go.
Yeah. But no, I was so happy to watch it again and still love it.
I also watched The Love Bug, the BTV movie that he made.
With Dana Gould, apparently.
Yes, who I did not recognize until I heard Dana Gould talking about it later. Not very good. A big issue, which is, number one, it's a TV movie, so what does a love bug do? Wacky things, right? It's a magic bug. How about it only did it at the beginning and at the end of a 90-minute movie? Also, Bruce Campbell playing it completely straight. Like, what do I want to see Bruce Campbell in a love bug movie? Being like, oh, it splashed me with like a fluid. Oh, it closed its hand on my door on my hand. None of that stuff happens in the movie.
This is why I think he would have popped later, because when Bruce Campbell's at his best, he's a little arch, he's a little big, he's a little exaggerated, and I feel like a lot of the decision makers were probably like, it's not real. People won't.
That's
buy,
the issue. Yeah, they're
people
not buying
won't
it.
Buy it. But later, again, somebody like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is obviously not real.
I mean, he's so like false in the way that he plays things.
Yeah,
that it's
really not real.
I wonder. It's interesting if you watch Bruce Campbell in some of the, like the Hallmark holiday movies, he can sell like the pathos. Now that he's a little older too.
Well, yeah, actually, because. I mean, I feel this way about Dolph Lundgren as well. Like some of these like cartoonishly handsome guys as they get older.
There's gravitas.
Yeah, exactly.
And he does have one film that he stars in and directs that's like a dramedy about him like going around with his wife's ashes, I believe.
Ernie and Emma. And I think it's coming out. Well,
yes.
He says...
He's self-distributing it, I believe.
Yeah, he says he self-financed it and he's hoping to treat himself this summer so that he can do some dates with it.
Oh, so what a victory tour. I mean, if he's coming to Toronto, we got to go to that, right?
I'll probably weep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This movie's so bad, but Bruce is here. Would it be like Brian Wilson? Like he's here.
I want to believe it's good.
Mm-hmm. If you want to revisit Bruce Campbell, you have a season and a half of Jack of All Trades. You have Xena. You have I haven't watched Briscoe County Jr. in a while. I remember really liking that show too.
What about may I suggest a movie called Evil Dead 2?
I don't need to watch Evil Dead 2. Here's the thing. The next time I watch Evil Dead 2 is when my son is old enough to sit down and watch it. And that'll be, Daddy, what a bad actor. You get out of my house. Actually, a friend of mine made a movie where his son is in the movie, which is supposedly an opinion that he holds. Chris Brown, he made a film called Schizopolis 2, which is very funny. I think it's
Schizopolis 2.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Okay.
The whole movie is about, it's such a like Matt Farley style coded movie, like the way that they act. Have I not talked about this on this podcast? I love Schizopolis too, but there's a scene where he and his son are sitting at a table, and his son is like, "Oh, I hate Sam Raimi. He sucks." And Chris Brown's like, "Get out of this." Yeah, it's basically he realizes that he traveled to an alternate dimension where Schizopolis doesn't exist. That Soderbergh never made that movie, but in this alternate dimension, he's also a serial killer, so he has to deal with that.
That's funny.
So yeah, check it out on YouTube. Schizopolis 2. But back to Bruce Campbell. I feel though, like, does he? I mean, if he keeps acting, and you get the indication from the message he put out, probably
I don't
not,
think so.
Yeah, that he has quite a legacy. One of the greatest cult actors of all time. Now, dealing with fans, is it probably frustrating to him throughout the decades he's done? Yes, but he's always had a smile on his face, and he keeps doing it.
I think he's a professional.
Here's the thing. Speaking of someone like Shatner, he hates his fans.
Shatner,
Yeah, Shatner.
Well,
like,
he
just
hates-
real disdain.
He hates his fans, but he loves his fans too.
Yeah, but I feel that there is more friendliness to someone like Bruce Campbell.
Have you seen that documentary, William Shatner's documentary, The Captain?
The Captain.
The
Where he goes and
Captains?
interviews all the captains. He's like, me and you, we're the same.
That documentary is awesome, but I especially like all the scenes that he put in of him on the convention floor. Like, look at how people love me. He looks greght.
Shatner is like the Godard of that scene that he's just like, we'll keep
Living
going.
out of spite.
Leaving.
By
Like,
the way,
exactly.
I said he looks great. He doesn't.
He doesn't know for his age.
For 94,
he's 94
yeah,
years old.
for 94, he looks exactly like he did 30 years ago.
And you know what's sad about a lot of Bruce Campbell's collaborators? Many of them have passed away. Josh Becker, director of Running Time, passed away very recently. Scott Spiegel recently passed away too. So like, man, it's tough to be Bruce Campbell when all your friends are going, and Sam Raimi can't get you on the phone. Maybe show up in a recent movie. Like,
Well, he was on the wall.
that's right. Yeah. And everybody popped when that happened
Yeah.
in Sam Raimi's recent film.
So, do we have any letters?
Yes, we do. As per usual, you can send us letters at importantcinemaclubpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah.
That was a real Matt Farleyism. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Our first letter is from our pal, Jeffrey Schwartz.
Oh.
He goes, "Hey, Justin and Will, just finished your Bowery Boys episode. This is exactly the kind of solid entertainment I've come to expect from the Important Cinema Club. These cheapo movies used to play all the time on local TV in New York when I was growing up in the 70s. When Will rattled off the names of the Sea of Zeppos, the name Gabriel Dell stood out. Now, Will, I'm going to give you a chance. Do you know who Gabriel Dell is?
Well, I remember the name from last week.
Not only was he one of the OG Dead End kids, this is indeed the same Gabriel Dell that did a Bela Lugosi impression on the Steve Allen show in the classic I Want to Suck Your Blood mode.
Oh, classic.
He also recorded a spoken word novelty record sometime in the 60s called Famous Monsters Speak, produced by James Warren.
Oh my, sorry. I wish this was a visual medium so you could see my jaw drop because I have this album. I own this album.
This is most definitely not a comedy record. Gabriel Dell does a monologue as Dracula on one side and a Frankenstein monster monologue on the other.
Yes.
It's actually kind of intense and genuinely unsettling, especially the part where the Frankenstein monster breaks into the happy family's home that he's been spying on and destroys the place and everyone in it. The whole thing is on YouTube, so listen if you dare. Your pal Jeffrey.
Well, I'm glad it's on YouTube because I bought the vinyl re-release at the Vinegar Syndrome store last year.
It got re-released?
That's right.
Have you listened to it yet?
I
or-
have. I've listened to it once.
And you were like, too scary.
But now that I know it's my friend Gabriel Dell doing it,
Now you're going to go and visit Gabriel Dell's career, upcoming episode of the Important Cinema Club.
Gabriel Dell. What if we did, I got an idea, Hans Hall episode?
He doesn't have that many movies, though.
Wow, he has 90 movies.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll just do the Barry.
Hans Hall without Leo Gorcey.
Yeah.
See if he pops in a way that Gorcey, we thought, did not. Our next letter is from Kevin, and it goes, Dear Justin and Will, I've been listening to the pod for quite a few years and living in the East End of Toronto. I partook in your screenings at the Fox whenever I could, including Hollywood Boulevard in July 2024. 2024? That's when we did it? It felt like 3 months ago.
Jesus.
Which I had never seen and was nearly a perfect lead into Maxine. Oh, Ty West Maxine. We all know Ty West, the director of the upcoming Johnny Depp A Christmas Carol movie.
I remember that because the Fox was asking, they said they had already booked Maxine and they said, if you could think of anything that would be a good lead in.
And we're like, Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes, and I don't know if it actually, well, one person thinks that it was a good lead in, so I'm happy to hear that.
And the letter writer continues, I really enjoyed your excellent interview with co-writer and co-director Alan Arkish. How do we do that? I don't remember.
I reached out to him and...
He just sent a long video, right?
Yeah, that's right. We did a video intro. It was a fantastic video intro. So thank you, Alan Arkish.
The letter continues, last summer I left the East End and moved to Los Angeles. Boo!
Oh, wow. Oh, shit. That's one less person at the screenings.
When I was invited... All right, it's dropped down to 7. When I was invited to the screenwriting conservatory at the American Film Institute. Okay, you know what? That's a reason to go.
I don't think so.
And who is amongst my professors in my first year? One, Alan Arkish.
Whoa!
Who runs our narrative workshop course and is supremely excitable, curious, and encouraging, even when he's ripping apart our productions. As you can imagine, it's a complicated time to be a Canadian living in the US, and as much as I've been enjoying living in LA in the last few months, I've been hungry for my home in Toronto, and your podcast has been one of the ways I've been keeping homesickness at bay. It's also thanks to your Fox screenings that I could shoot the shit with Alan about Hollywood Boulevard, which I must be the only one of his students to have seen. How? What, the other students haven't seen Hollywood Boulevard?
Wow. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah.
Will is
I don't know what else to say.
Did you go up to Alan and be like, you must be a huge fan of the Important Cinema Club, right, Mr. Arkish?
Yeah, that's probably what he said.
Hollywood Boulevard sticks in my mind because the first time ever visited Toronto to visit my friend who was in like that sham production course that costs a lot of money. It's like the Canadian Film Center, the one that Norman Jewison runs.
Oh, that one, yeah.
That's like super expensive to go to, and he was doing it. When I visited him, I said, my man, we are going to this place I've heard called Suspect Video. I'm going to rent 15 DVDs. I'm going to rip them onto my computer. Hollywood Boulevard was one of those.
Nice.
I remember sitting in his room with my giant, chunky laptop that had a disk drive, popping them in and out and ripping them as I went.
God, now I'm remembering being in first year university and going over to Suspect Video and creating an account. And I think the first things I rented were the Filipino Batman, Alias Batman and Robin, and If Footmen Tire You, What Will Horses
Now,
Do?
which Suspect is this? Because the one I went to was the one that was on Queen Street.
Yes. It was the Burvish Village one. I only went to the Queen Street one once.
Really?
Before it burned down.
I remember going to the Queen Street one and being like, video stores are allowed to be this? Because it was gigantic. It was massive.
I remember. Yeah. No, it's tragic. Tragic.
The only other memory I have of that one is I used to work near there, and I walked in and I bought a used copy of Michael Bay's Transformers on DVD and felt shame going up to the counter and buying it for like $4 at the time.
God damn.
Yeah, and that place burned down. Man, what a loss. I mean, it would not exist right now if it was still there, but...
Well, we have Eyesore Cinema now.
Yeah, but that's up near Dufferin and Yonge. Remember when Queen Street used to be the place to go hang out? Like, it used to rule. Oh, yeah, because when I used to work at Eyesore, it was on Queen above Rotate This.
That's right. It was across the street from, like, Tequila Mockingbird.
Yes,
and,
there was an amazing place that was like a dive bar. I don't remember why I started going there, but every Saturday I would work because I would open the store. I would get like the sloppiest hamburger they can get with a thing of fries covered in gravy. Got to the point that I would walk in and they'd be like, yep, the usual special. I was like, yes, please.
You probably haven't been to Queen Street in years.
No, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Like, there used to be Silver Snail, there used to be Eyesore, and there used to be 2Q Video.
Oh, yeah, Q Video. Yeah,
Q Video
That's
and
right.
Queen Street Video.
So
there was like, you could hit them all on.
That's right.
Yeah.
I went to that Queen Video a lot.
Queen Video, one of the weirdest places because you would go and they seemingly bought everything that I remember when they were selling their stuff. I would find DVDs. I was like, I didn't even know this came out on DVD in North America. And it was like an official copy of it. They just bought everything.
Okay, can you remember something that you got at a Queen Video going out of business sale?
I'd have to think about it for a second. I could look at my shelf and pick the ones off that were from Queen Video.
Yeah.
They were giving them away for like $1 each. Too. Like they did not want them at all. Probably Power Kids, which was a Thai movie. A lot of like weird in that wave of like every company is putting out martial arts cinema. A lot of indie films too that I was like, I've never heard about this. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And a lot of like cracking open the disc and being like, oh man, that recently happened to Mark Hansen. He sent me a photo that he got Uli Lamel's Black Dahlia, which is like a 90s, 2000 like serial killer film. Opened the case when he got home. Brian De Palma's Black Dahlia was inside of it.
Oh, no.
Huge disappointment. The letter writer continues, also, I recently discovered that my girlfriend was in an improv class with Justin's wife years ago.
Whoa.
I don't know what that has to do with anything except that this revelation was what finally prompted me to write this email, which I've been too damn busy to write for the last 4 months. Keep up the good radio, Kevin.
So how about that?
Yeah, I mean...
We in our extended universe exist.
I would love to know how this came up. wife talk about me in the class? Because she probably didn't have the name Emily Decloux if it was many years ago.
Yeah, write a follow-up letter.
No, it's fine. I want to live in mystery. I don't want to know.
You're
so,
right.
I mean, she enters every room and she's like, hello, everybody. My name is Emily. My husband is Justin Decloux. You may have heard him on the Important Cinema Club.
Yeah, that's right.
And now I'm ready to be funny. P.S. I proudly stand apart from you as the only person to watch the Leonard Maltin interviews on the 1995 Star Wars VHS tape every single time. That is madness.
Come on.
Come on. Thanks for doing it.
I don't want to yuck your yum.
Leonard probably appreciates it. And thank you very much for the letter. We need, you know what? I feel we're slacking on Toronto content. We need to up that Toronto content.
I agree. I'll see have I done anything in this city lately? Let's think about the back matter of this episode.
Mm-hmm. We got to get out there. And I want us to be that we enter the room, everyone's like, oh my God, they're here. They're here. We need to get to that point.
Justin, I got news for you. We're already there.
That's because I never go out. So when I show up somewhere, they're like, wait, what? Justin left his house?
I'm sorry, but there are certain rooms where that definitely does happen.
Okay, so thank you very much for all those letters. Thanks for me. I didn't say it, but thank you, Jeffrey, as well. Yeah. Jeffrey Schwartz, the man who did every DVD special feature you ever watched in the 2000s.
And I was happy to meet Jeffrey Schwartz last year when we hung out at my book launch in
Did
LA.
you get any sweet goss from him? Or
I'm sure I did, but I can't remember now.
So on our Patreon this week, we are discussing something that... Anytime I started saying people have been asking it, I know the listener is like, okay, what dumb bullshit are they going to talk about?
Well,
now?
a few months ago, we talked about the
2 months ago.
2 months ago, we talked about the Mr. Bill Christmas special. You remember Mr. Bill from Saturday Night Live?
Oh no!
Well, that episode was so popular.
Yeah.
And a lot of you probably think we just pick these episodes we don't care about.
Oh no, we look at graphs and analytics and
we know they're saying more Mr. Bill content. So we watched all of the Saturday Night Live Mr. Bill shorts.
Not all of them, most of them.
I'm trying to sell this.
Okay, yes. We watched all the Saturday Night Live's Mr. Bill shorts.
Exactly. And
on a DVD that Will bought in the year 2000.
So we
talk
all about that. You may be saying, well, this is a movie podcast. Isn't that TV? No. These are short films. Walter Williams made them on 8mm and 16mm film, and they were shown on Saturday Night Live. So we do the Mr. Bill roundup. We review every SNL Mr. Bill short, and we give it a scale of 1 to 5 fingers because of Mr. Hands.
Is it one of those episodes where we lose our mind as we do it? Yes, because we lost it 29 minutes into watching these. Okay, guys, if you know what the Mr. Bill short, imagine watching 43 minutes of them nonstop.
I think I might have liked them more than Justin.
Oh, you think you might have liked them more than me? I think so. You'll find that out.
And I didn't even like them that much.
On our Patreon episode, patreon.com/The Important Cinema Club. Next week, a topic that when I presented it, Will was like, didn't we do that already? And no, we have not discussed filmmaker Don Siegel.
Don Siegel, one of the great Hollywood craftsmen, best known for his work with Clint Eastwood, but a two-fisted auteur in his own right. So we're definitely going to talk about Riot in Cell Block 11.
Some Clint Eastwood film.
Yes, a Clint Eastwood film.
I feel like there's a filmmaker that every night before we record, I'll be like, I'll throw a Don Siegel movie on because I know they're going to be short. And I know they're going to be fun.
That's right.
The Shootist is the other one.
Yes.
John Wayne's last role.
And if we have time for Body Snatchers.
Yeah, Body Snatchers is a big one, too. We could also save that for, like, Communism, presented in cinema episode.
Yeah, a Cold War kind of episode.
Cold War episode, yeah.
That could be interesting. All right, well, Don Siegel next week for sure.
Yep, and until then, my name's Justin Decloux.
I'm Will Sloan.
Thanks for listening. As per usual, I would like to thank some of the new Patreon subscribers, and I very much appreciate people who became a Patreon subscriber for the first time this week, who include Fulmer5, Fulmer V, John Lettingham, Daniel Toon, Nicholas, John, Tetsuo the Bartman, Joe Bolse, Alex Hardesty, Brad Shalady, Brian Queer, Neil Mac Giola Chomgale, Stucat, Brian, Ken Abelman, Scotty Gilmer, In Cacola, Noah, Sean Fegan, Eric J. Watt, Fulton Collins, Matt Trunk, Eric G. Wilson, Samuel Toninato, Sam McGrage, Justin LaGuff, Swaggy Peepaw, and Creative Name. Thank you very much for becoming Patreon subscribers. We would not keep doing this without you. Some Ed Wood films are being remastered and released by Film Masters.
That's right. Film Masters, the great Blu-ray company who specialize in public domain films. I guess they struck a deal with the Wade Williams estate.
Which is wild because this hasn't happened in 25 years.
So for those of you who haven't followed this drama, Wade Williams was a guy who was a film fan, a film collector. He was based in, I want to say, Kansas. Grew up loving science fiction movies, old horror movies, and he decided to make the world a worse place by buying up the rights to as many of these films as he could. And Justin is doing air quotes because typically he would target public domain films
and say, oh, I own them now.
Yeah, he would pretend to own them. He would claim ownership on these films, and he would be extremely, extremely litigious to anyone who tried to do anything with them. These public domain films.
Like every public domain horror film or genre film, he claimed ownership of them.
So, when Disney made Tim Burton's Ed Wood film, they just paid him a couple $100,000 to go away, basically.
$100,000?
I don't know the exact number, but it was a lot of money.
And, he definitely has ownership of the films, which has nothing to do with him changing the title cards on some of them and putting copyright notices.
Well, yeah.
Changing the name.
Yeah, he would do every underhanded trick.
Yeah.
All these movies. I mean, and also, he would buy the original elements for these films. I mean, the man was a menace.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, I own the original elements. That means I own the film. It's like, that's not how it works.
And I just want to say about Wade Williams, I'm so glad he's dead. No, keep this in. We are so better off without Wade Williams.
Well, he gave up after a while. Because he got sued ABC. No, because they showed clips of Robot Monster or something like that. And it was a lawsuit that dragged on and on because and he's like, it's costing me too much money. It's not worth it. And many companies released films that he claimed ownership on, and they went fuck you. We're just going to do it. So Robot Monster that was put out, Wade Williams claims ownership of that film.
Detour.
Yeah, as well.
In the Criterion Collection.
The Criterion would rather they got a subtitled print and they removed the subtitles digitally than have to deal with him. Because he was also a troll online of well, I got these prints. Maybe I'll let them out. Maybe I won't. If you hadn't said that, I would have, but you said something, so I'm not doing that.
God, wouldn't it be a shame if he was still alive? This man.
But an organization that represents him is still going around, and they still signed off.
Are they ever? Well, here's the thing. Film Masters on their YouTube channel, Film Masters puts out a lot of Blu-ray releases of, I guess they just find 16 millimeter prints or 35
They've
prints.
always done this, yeah.
And, they release them, and God bless them because they've put out a lot of good stuff. On their YouTube channel, though, so many more movies.
And this is the thing that I think makes Film Masters special. Now, do they get revenue probably from putting up these public domain films? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But they could just not do that.
So do you. So do lots of us.
Oh, yeah, for the stuff, though. I don't put up any public domain
but,
film.
Golden Ninja Video, everyone makes revenue on these because you know what? We all own these movies.
Well, that's the thing. These films are in the public domain. Everybody owns them. You should not, and it's advertising in a way that you're I'm putting it on YouTube. You are a collector. You will want, because they said they're doing a 4K of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Well, yeah, so they put their new restoration of Plan 9 from Outer Space on YouTube, and I watched 2 minutes of it. I've seen it so many times.
Yes.
But I watched 2 minutes of it, and it looks great. It looks amazing.
And they said they're going to clean it up. And they also said, we're going to put a cleanup version and the dirty version as well on the Blu-ray. So they're going to have both. Because they did with Cripple Masters, that they had the cleaned up version and the just raw scan on the Blu-ray. So they're one of us, the people at Film Masters.
I can't wait. I'm happy that, because Plan 9 from Outer Space has not, there was a colorized Blu-ray 15 years ago that had the Mike Nelson commentary. There hasn't been a good restored version of that movie, which is a pretty important cult film.
Yeah, I wonder why there hasn't been a restored version.
Yeah, it's almost like Wade Williams was...
Why?
Anyway.
If you love movies, what are you doing? That's a pathological thing, right? Where you're I just don't want people to put it out.
I want to own it. Yeah.
It's do the best version, put it out. That recently happened with a video game that was going around. It was called Cookie's Adventure or something like that, where some weirdo, no one knows who he was, would send copyright strikes to any video involving that game. So no one could talk about it. And basically an organization's we got lawyers, you shut this down. They show us proof that you own the game, and the person was oh yeah, I don't actually own it. And they're like, we don't know who he is. Because, like, there's a million Wade Williams stories of, like, wasn't it the guy, like, I got a letter from the landlord of Ed Wood, and they signed it off on me. And even at the time, Ted Newsom was like, wait, like, Ed Wood was dead by that point? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So I'm glad that it's getting out there. I like that film masters, they always go above and beyond. Are they a public domain company? Yes. Who cares?
No,
it doesn't matter.
that's fine. And, you know, what I would say to the Wade Williams estate is you've got a lot of stuff. Like, put it out.
Yeah, you can make money. Maybe, you know what? If they're doing this, they may have made a deal with the Williams estate. So,
I hope so.
And I just hope they can get to the elements.
Yes.
Because they've been claiming stuff, like some stuff that has not even existed past VHS, that they're like, but isn't the thing that, like, someone said that, like, it was covered in cat piss and it was basically, like, rotting?
When we heard Wade Williams died, the first thing I thought,
estate stale.
Well, the first thing I thought
Ding dong.
The first thing I thought was, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But then the second thing I thought was, what condition is that archive in?
Bad.
Yeah. So, because, you know, there are some movies like Catwoman of the Moon, which was also, I think, a pretty important, like, bad movie. Like, that movie has no high def release. And it's because of him.
Maybe it'll happen. And I know that Film Masters moved to a manufacturer on demand version, maybe because some companies came after them for releasing films that were claimed to be in the public domain.
I don't know about that.
But it sounds like this deal, they're going to do, again, more kind of like press discs that they'll be able to put out there. So looking forward to it. And I don't know, maybe there's a Ed Wood expert that could appear on the disc.
Well, I just maybe after everything I said about Wade, maybe they wouldn't want me. But that's okay.
You'll just be happy to own it. At the end.
That's fine.
As you said,
you've
talked a lot about Ed Wood.
I've already written a book about Ed Wood. It's okay. But I would do commentary.
Would you show up, no notes? You're like, all right, let's go.
No, I would have notes. No, let me make it clear. I would, if you're releasing an Ed Wood movie on DVD or Blu-ray, I would happily do commentary. But if you don't want me to do it, that's also okay.
Yes.